Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Diana, and today I kind of wanted to make a video, number one, talking about, the different things and looking at astrology, different aspects that kind of told me that I was going to be pregnant this year. So that's part of the reason I've been gone from YouTube, because the past 3 months, like, all my energy is like so drained and I'm just so tired. Like, as an Aries rising, I have Uranus on my first house right now. I have Pluto on my midheaven. I have like just a lot of things going on, kind of like taking up all of my energy. But either way, I've also been working on my astrology stuff because I want to get certified. I do want to, like, I think as a Saturn in the 12th house person, I do need that kind of validation that I'm like good at it before I can start offering readings, because I want to give people something of value, and I'm kind of a little bit hard on myself, But anyways, I kind of wanted to talk about all those things, and then I wanted to make this video because I know for me, like, I like to know when things are like coming up in my life, because I'm like super impatient and I want to know like everything. So, I like to Google things like, start of a new relationship. When am I going to get married? When am I going to get pregnant, I guess. And so, since I found out I was pregnant like 3 months ago, since I found out I was pregnant, I was kind of like looking back at my charts, and I was like looking at all the aspects that could have like warned me that I was pregnant and putting it all together. So I kind of wanted to share that with you. I mean, this isn't the end all be all of aspects. You have to look at your own natal charts and your own positions to see when that's going to happen for you, if that's something you want to do. So this is more of an informative video of my like astrology aspects, and then you can kind of correlate them with yours, or even if you have had kids, look back at those years and see what was going on that could have kind of been a predictor of that. Guys, I have a Pisces baby on the way and I'm so excited. I don't know if it's gonna be a girl or a boy. I'm kind of like, the universe is leaning towards a girl. I think my birth chart is pretty indicative that it's gonna be a girl, so we'll see. So first off, let's go over kind of like in my natal chart what, like, I guess denotes pregnancy. So my natal chart, I have, obviously my moon is in Leo and it's in the 5th house, and obviously that's like, people say that that's indicative of fertility, but I mean, you also have to look at the ruler of your 5th house, in which case my ruler is the sun, and it is in Scorpio. So Scorpio, I read online that water signs and earth signs are fertile signs. Fire signs, it may take a little bit, fire signs and air signs are a little bit longer for fertility, but either way, that's only like, one thing that you can look at for fertility. I'm sorry, an air sign or a fire sign, you're not gonna have babies, because that's not true at all. I mean, my moon is in Leo and I'm pregnant, right? And I got pregnant real quick, actually, because I wasn't expecting a baby. I mean, I wasn't expecting that pregnancy would be this easy, because I was in a relationship for like 5 years, and not that we were trying to get pregnant, but it just never happened. And then I get into this relationship with this, I guess, like soulmate type connection, because my north node touches his vertex and his conjuncts his descendant. So I get into this relationship, and his south node conjuncts my moon. So we're supposed to like have kids together, is what I got. So it's crazy how the universe works. And on top of that, last year in my fertility meetings, like, I'm sorry, not my fertility, when I went to the lady doctor, they said I could have a hard time getting pregnant because I had like the polycystic ovary disease. So I was like, okay. But then a few months later, I remember talking to my friend, my best friend at the time, and I was like looking at my solar return charts. If you guys don't know what solar return charts are, they're the charts that are casted every year on your birthday, when the sun goes back to the exact degree that tells you about the events of the next year. They're super powerful and super, super accurate. Sometimes you see things in there that you don't want to see. So just a warning, but you know, I like to see everything. Anyways, so I looked at my solar return chart for like this year in November, so 2017 to 2018. I was like, wow. Like, I was like, I think I'm gonna get pregnant that year, but I just like laughed it off because I'm like, psh, pregnant? Like, I don't even have a boyfriend right now. Like, what are you talking about? So anyways, then I looked at that, and so I kind of brushed it off because I didn't think that I was gonna get pregnant. So fast forward to this year, like I said, my moon is in Leo, and what is in Leo right now, guys? The North Node is in Leo. So that was the number one, that was the first thing that I'm like, holy moly, like the North Node is in my 5th house of creativity and children, and I was like, holy moly, like I'm just gonna be more creative this year. Nope, it's actually children. And the crazy thing is, around the time that the baby's born, the North Node is going to be exact, it's going to be conjunct my moon. So the baby and I are definitely going to have this amazing connection, which I really feel like my heart as a Leo moon in the 5th house, I need to fulfill. And it's just, this baby's going to be my everything, you know? And so anyways, the other thing that I saw, back to my solar return chart, so in the year that I'm currently in, 2017 to 2018, my solar return chart says that, like, I have Jupiter in the 5th house, which is expansion, you know, and maybe expanding your creative stuff, including a baby, right? But I kind of thought that it was going to be more of a party year for me, and having fun and drinking, which the beginning of the year was totally like that. But nope, I did end up finding, to end up getting pregnant and expanding that. So in my solar return chart, Saturn was in my 7th house at like 14 degrees Sagittarius. And then if you go on astro.com and you overlay your natal chart, including the houses, over your solar return chart, you kind of can paint yourself a bigger picture about what's going to happen. So from Saturn in my solar return in the 7th house, it was conjunct Venus back in November of 2016. Exactly, like Venus and Saturn were touching each other, which is a lot of the times true for karmic relationships, for being in committed relationships, for karmic men that come into your life. And this year, you know, I did meet somebody who's like super, super special to me. And I love him so much. And, you know, Saturn is increased commitment. It's increased responsibility in regards to relationships and your love life, which is Venus. So it's also like, it's like being committed in a relationship due to children. And that's also what I saw in my chart. Like, that was an indicator, a small indicator. And then, you know, I have Uranus in my 1st house right now, and I read online that a lot of the times for pregnancies, you'll have like a planet transiting your 1st house that's transforming you, whether it's Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Jupiter, just something that's bringing you some kind of like big change. So with Uranus in the 1st house, it's everything in my life is moving so quick and so unexpectedly, because I wasn't expecting to get a boyfriend or getting pregnant, for God's sakes. Like, I'm like 21 years old, so I was expecting to be out partying and living it up, but nope. Like, everything's happening so quick. I got into this relationship really quick. You know, obviously I'm an Aries rising, so I go head first into things. And I got pregnant really quick, and I just like, I wasn't expecting it. And then obviously, like, Pluto is up there in my 10th house, so it's more indicative of my career, but that's also, the 10th house is your public image, it's your legacy. So it's also transforming, you know, who I am to the world, and I'm gonna be a mom, and that's huge, right? So let's see, what else did I see? So moving on into my solar return for this year that's coming up. So from November of 2018 to 2019, November of 2017 to 2018, because I like to look ahead at my solar returns to see what's changing. I have a Leo rising this year coming up, so that's going to be fun. I have my sun touching exactly my IC in the solar return. I have a lot of focus on kids, because if you know where Leo falls in my chart, it falls in my 5th house of children, and then the 4th house is home. So yeah, I am probably going to be, you know, moving in with my boyfriend, co-parenting with him, finding a new home life, and probably staying at home a lot because a baby needs you, right? So for your chart, you guys can look at, you know, those solar returns. Like, do what I told you on astro.com. Go on astro.com, pull up your solar return overlaid with the houses. Overlaid with your natal chart, and see where the ascendant of your solar return chart, where it falls in your house. The years that it falls in your 5th house, I heard that that's a huge indicator for children. Also, solar returns that have emphasis, you know, planets in the 5th house, planets in the 4th house, they can give you a message about expanding your family or having children. So that's what I read online, and that happened to be true for me, because the year that I have the baby, I'm gonna have a my ascendant fall in the 5th house of children. And let's see what else happened. So I also look at charts. They're called progressions. My progress chart, because I wanted to see what was happening there. So this year, my moon sign moved into Taurus, and Taurus is a fertile sign. So one of the things I also read was, in your progress chart, when you have a planet that moves into a water sign or earth sign especially, it's a good year for fertility. So if you want to get pregnant, there you go. The other thing is with my boyfriend's chart, let's see, he has his moon in the 5th house for his solar return. So along with, like, I think it was Chiron and some other position. So he this also was a year that indicated pregnancy for him. He has the North Node, you know, that's transiting through his 4th house, and he has his in his natal chart fortune in the 4th house. So for him, around the time that the North Node, around the time that the baby is born, the North Node is going to be touching his fortune, which if you guys know anything about asteroids, like, your fortune is like your second Jupiter. It's where you'll have luck. You can go on astro.com and put in all the asteroids to know where your fortune is. But it's going to be a time where it's really going to, I guess, like with fortune in the 4th house, you want to have kids and want to have a family and really want to watch the seeds that you bring into the world grow, and that's going to bring you lots of abundance and joy, and where you'll have a lot of luck. And plus, he's a Jupiter in Cancer, so having a family and a home is super, super important to him. But yeah, for him, mainly what I saw in his chart was this year his moon is in the 5th house in Pisces, so it's going to be almost a really emotional year for him in regards to, like, children. And I mean, at the same time, I think pregnancy is something we kind of both unconsciously manifested, so that's how powerful the law of attraction is, I guess. So anyways, those were some of the things that happened in my natal chart that told me that I was going to get pregnant, and I probably would have known for sure last year if I would have went as in depth as I did after I got pregnant. So again, you guys can look at that in your charts. Look for transits to the 5th house. Look for your look for the ruler of your 5th house being activated by transit, by a progression, by your solar return chart. Like, there's so many different ways you can look at it, and this is not all the ways you can find out if you're going to be pregnant. But, you know, even do your own research. I hope that, you know, everything that happened to me, you could apply it to your own charts and see what's going to happen. But anyways, that was my video for today. The 11th house video will be up later this week, so no worries. Bye bye. Thank you for watching my channel, guys.